This is our 15th episode, and we are going to dive in to jog our memories about our shows that we've seen from Anthrax. I can personally account for 6 shows, know that I've seen more, so I'm thinking about 10 because there's probably about 4 shows that I forgot about because they've opened up for everybody everywhere for a really long time, and they've had a lot of headlining shows. But I personally can account for 6 Anthrax shows, and stay tuned because I do have some video toward the end when I'm talking about Slayer's farewell tour.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, thanks, Johnny. You tell the listeners what shows you have been to.
I've been to almost a handful of shows. And first time I saw him was at the Bayou back in the late 80s, 87. And I got to meet them at that show. And I also met them later on in 89 at the Baltimore Arena when they were doing the Headbangers ball tour. And then I've seen them a couple other times too.
So that the picture that we're putting up, that was when you were still at GMU, right? In 88, yes. I guess it is. Or is that
when I have my cheesy mustache and mullet.
The cheesy mustache. I know what picture he's talking about. I'll put it up for everybody to get a laugh at Johnny in 1988. I have never met the band. I've just been a fan for so long that I just never had the opportunity to actually meet those guys. But I seen them a bunch of times. And, this past week, I've been listening to a lot of the Anthrax, and I must say their catalog is fantastic. They have been in the scene so long, and matter of fact, they just released a new album, or at least a single, just this past. Oh, they say the album's going to be released in September, but this past week they released a single called "For the Kids," and I would recommend everybody go listen to this song because it's all Anthrax and it's really, really good. So Anthrax coming out with new music. It's been several years since these guys have actually put out an album, something like 7 to 10 years, Johnny, I think.
Yeah, something like that. I think 10 years, actually. Yeah. We're all waiting with bated breath for that new Anthrax album to drop.
Well, if the first single is anything like the album, it's going to be amazing.
Yes.
It's just in case
you're not up on your Anthrax, it is Joey singing for the band right now. It's the classic. Well, yes. not quite the classic lineup, because there's Dan Spitz isn't in the band and hasn't been for a long time, but it's the classic vocalist for Anthrax. It's not John Bush, who's got a new album with Armored Saint.
Oh yeah, that's right, John Bush. He filled in for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder how many albums he did. I just pulled the Wikipedia. Let's see right here. In 1982, they were signed to Elektra Records for $10 million, and Belladonna was replaced by John Bush. So 1992, John Bush of Armored Saints. Bush's first album was Sounds of White Noise in 93, and spawned a radio hit Only. Let's see. Bush left Anthrax in 2005, and Belladonna came back, and lead guitarist Dan Spitz came back. But they departed.
Dan Spitz, who's now a world famous watch repairman and maker.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what he does now. He does watch repair and fine tuning, and he is world renowned apparently.
Wow, that's an art right there.
Yes.
Well, cool. He was in Anthrax for quite a bit.
And before Anthrax, did you know that he was actually in Overkill? I've seen a picture of them. I'll have to dig it up, but there's a picture of them with Danny in the band.
Wow.
Before they were signed, and before now I can't remember the name of the guitar player who played on the first couple albums of Overkill, but that's all right. I'll figure it out.
Dan Spitz reunited. He was like one of the first. Hold on. I mean, I'm looking at this and I am confused. So we're going to get rid of all that stuff. So Anthrax has been through lots of different variations, but the core of the band has stayed together, and now they've got the lead singer back, and they're releasing this album, and it has been 10 years. Johnny, Wikipedia said that they the last album they released was For All Kings in 2016, which I like. That's a great album. And the band is expected to release their 12th studio album, Circum Perficio, in 2026. So 10 years, long-awaited album from Anthrax. We've seen them several times. Johnny, you and I, the first show we're going to talk about, you and I were there together. I don't know. I don't think we went together, but we just happened to be at this show.
Yeah.
And it was, June 9th, 1987 at the Bayou in Georgetown. That's right. And anybody who's listened to the broadcast knows, about the Bayou. If not, go back and listen to it. The number one episode, we talk about the Bayou. And the opener that day was Metal Church.
Yeah.
A great West Coast band. Love those guys, but we're not here to talk about
Seattle before the whole Seattle scene exploded.
That's right.
With the grunge movement.
Yes. Yes. And they're still touring. And I think they released some new music recently.
Yes, they did. Dave Ellison of Megadeth is playing bass in the band now.
Oh, that's awesome. I didn't know that. All right. So June 9th, 1987, Johnny, you want to tell us about your experience with that particular show?
Sure. That was back when I worked for WGMU and had the metal show, Judgment Day. And I got to meet and interview them. Strangely enough, I don't recall any of the interview, but I do remember them as really, really friendly and engaging. No standoffish bullshit. None of that.
I'm a Rockstar.
They were just regular guys who were super friendly. And there was this group of women that I believe the sound man at the Bayou would get into shows. And I called them the Bayou sluts. I think maybe the guys from Anthrax were the ones who hit me to that term, because they had played the Bayou before in 85, 86. And these girls, they would just be annoying. I mean, and the guys in Anthrax were just unmercifully making fun of them in the backstage area, and then finally kicked them out. Like, you guys got to leave. Yeah,
why are you ladies here? What? Yeah, you're not supposed to be back here.
They all had girlfriends or wives at that time, and they're just not interested in these skanks. I'm sorry, but they were skanks, man. I mean, they weren't ugly. They were attractive, but they were skanks. I remember we have a picture of me with them. They were wearing the board shorts and the t-shirts, like the Batman t-shirt and whatnot. And I'll be damned if I can't even remember who I did the interview with. I want to say it was Scott, but
yeah, most likely he did a lot of press back in the early days.
Yeah,
him and Charlie.
Somewhere, I think I still might have that cassette. That's probably unlabeled, like most of my interviews are. I don't know what tape it is, but
wow. So that was Among the Living. That was Among the Living tour,
which is when the band really broke wide.
That was
that album.
Yes, and they released a deluxe edition. I don't see what year, but the original album had 10 tracks on it, I believe. Oh, no, 9 tracks. And Among the Living, Caught in the Mosh, I Am the Law, Evil Nest Confession. I think that's how it's pronounced. A skeleton in the closet, Indians, One World, A Melody of ADI, Horror of It All, and Imitation of Life. And then there's a couple other alternate tracks that are on this deluxe edition. One being "I Am the Man," which is an instrumental. So, yes, this album is considered, the golden age of metal. A lot of guys, a lot of bands, 87, 88, released marquee albums.
Yes.
And
just in case you didn't know what Evil Nick Confessin meant, it's nice fucking life backwards.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's funny. So yeah, Among the Living tour. I don't remember much about that show. It was so long ago. I do remember hearing Caught in the Mosh and I Am the Law and Indians. And they still play those songs live to this day.
Nice.
Yeah. All right. What was your next show, Johnny?
My next show was again at the Bayou in January of 88. Same tour, Among the Living.
And I think I may have been at that tour, but I could not find a ticket stub. I just don't remember, but I'm pretty sure I was there in 88. But go ahead, Johnny.
Well, that's cool. So two shows we were at together, and we didn't run into each other. Of course, did we know each?
We probably did go to that show together.
Yeah,
we probably did. Our memory's not as good as it used to be.
No. And then the next time I saw them was at the Baltimore Arena for the Headbangers Ball Tour with Exodus and Helloween. And that was a great show. It was in an arena with a big tour production package for all the bands. And I remember
MTV money.
Yes. I went there with my college girlfriend, Annie, drove to Baltimore and got to meet the guys in the band again from Anthrax, and did not meet the guys from Exodus or Helloween.
But those guys let you backstage there at the Baltimore Arena so you could do another interview with them in 88?
I don't think I did an interview, just a meet type thing.
Just kind of went back there and said, "Hey, what's up, guys? I'm that college radio dude,
dork
that you can only get the radio if you're tuned in to see the channel next campus, to the water tower. Yeah, if you're next to the water tower on your car on campus, you can get it. Or if you had Media General cable and was tuned in to the, what was it? The
Channel 12.
Service, yes, like the public service, Fairfax County public service announcements with us.
The city of Fairfax cable channel on Cox.
That's funny. That's really funny. And then we both, in 91, we talked about the Clash of the Titans tour.
Yes.
And that's on episode 7. So we both got to see Anthrax on the Clash of the Titans tour. And if you haven't listened to episode 7, you should go back and listen to it, because that was a really magical time. Really the one of the greatest metal tours ever, Clash of the Titans, with Slayer, Megadeth, Anthrax, and Alice in Chains. Right?
Yes. Yeah, one of those great early package tours that 91, it was a rarity.
Yeah,
for sure.
It was, especially for metal. So yeah, we talk about our experiences seeing Anthrax in 1991 at the Clash of the Titans tour. So definitely go back and listen to that. And I think that's Is that all you can remember? Have you seen them in any recent shows that you've been to?
No, I haven't seen them recently, which is unfortunate because I understand that they're still as lean and mean as ever.
Yeah, they are. They are. It's great. Well, I saw them 9 years later. I probably saw them opening up. They opened up for everybody back in the day. And it was January 16th, 2000. And that was at Jack's in Springfield.
Oh, wow.
That small little club in Jack's. And I believe they were headlining. That was a really cool show. Because that place was so intimate. There was no bad seat in the house.
They had a good sound system there.
They had a good sound system. The club was run really well. You're basically, that was before they had barriers at the stage. So if you're standing there, you're like right up front, like staring at their crotch or them screaming at you or right. Well, you know what I'm saying? Like, it was like you were that close. It was, but then things changed. But back then, you could be literally like right up on the stage.
Yeah.
And then they started putting like a barrier up there because people started moshing and stuff, and they didn't want people flying on the stage.
Yeah.
And then as far as my shows go, I has seen them a couple more times. In July of 2012, it was July 29th, the Mayhem Festival at Jiffy Lube Live. And I remember seeing that set. That I believe they were on the main stage. They were one of the bands on the main stage for the Mayhem Festival at that time. And they did a great festival set that I want to run through. And again, this is July 29th, 2012 at Jiffy Lube Live, which is now, it was Nissan, but it's Jiffy Lube Live. It's still Jiffy Lube Live. The set list was Caught in the Mosh, Got the Time, Fight 'Em Till You Can't, Antisocial, Indians, I Am the Law, and Madhouse. Fantastic festival set from those guys. It's like all their really big hits in one set list, and they came out and killed it. It was amazing. It was truly amazing. I think my son was at that festival with me. He was like 13 years old. He was a little kid. And it may have been one of his first like Mayhem festivals I took him to. So that was a really memorable show, not only because of Anthrax, but also that Mayhem festival was just top notch. It was just fantastic. Then 4 years later, on January 17th, 2016, I saw them open for who else? Lamb of God at the Fillmore Silver Spring in Maryland.
Fillmore's a nice place to see a show.
It is. Again, it's not quite as intimate as Jack's, but because it holds more people. But yeah, that's a very well run club too. I've seen several shows from there. We went to see Lamb of God. My youngest son, Kyle, was with us. Man, he was super young. He was, again, probably 12 or 13 years old. And that was one of his first like club shows going with me to go see Lamb of God and at the Fillmore with Anthrax opening. And that was number 7 Sturm und Drang tour.
Sturm und Drang
tour. Yes. Strumen and Drang tour. I never could get the name of that album right. It's kind of funny. But that was Lamb of God. Anybody who knows me knows that I've been seeing those guys. So 2016, opened for Lamb of God at the Fillmore, Silver Spring. And then the last time I saw him was in 2018 that I can actually remember. I know I've seen him since then, but that was Slayer's farewell tour. And it was Slayer, Testament, Anthrax, and Megadeth. And, what can I say about that show?
Everybody raise it up!
Fantastic show to go see. It turns out it really wasn't their farewell tour, because now they're doing, festival
More
dates
shows.
for Danny Warner Productions. Yeah. So as Slayer's, 5-year hiatus or 10-year hiatus, whatever it was, they're coming back. They're doing shows. Those were my Anthrax shows that I can remember. I know there's more out there. I was talking to my son Ryan yesterday. He's like, "Yeah, Dad, you took me to go see this, and Anthrax opened up." And I'm like, "Really? When was that?" And he's like, I don't know. I gotta think about it." So there are other shows out there, other Anthrax shows out there that I've been to that I cannot recall. And I listened to him a lot this week, and that catalog, I mean, fantastic. These guys have been around forever.
I want to say that their Spreading the Disease album was like one of those early landmark thrash albums, along with I'm having total brain meltdown right now. I can't think of Metallica's third album's name. Yeah,
Master of Puppets.
Spreading the Disease, Master of Puppets. Now I can't think of another Megadeth, Peace Cells. Those are all like landmark thrash albums.
Yes, that Master of Puppets came out in March 3rd, 1986. So that 86, 87 timeline, there was a lot of bands that put out. I mean, we've talked about this before.
Yeah.
We don't need to rehash all that stuff. Some really cool facts about Anthrax. Everybody who is a metal fan remembers the 1991 collaboration with Public Enemy with the song "Bring the Noise."
Oh yeah,
it kind of, at that time, metal and rap were kind of converting, and they really brought it to the forefront with that "Bring the Noise" album, or that "Bring the Noise" single with Public Enemy. And then it kind of spawned off, Infectious Grooves with Mike Murr, and the bassist for Suicidal Tendencies at that time, the guy that plays in Metallica now,
Robert Trujillo.
He was in Infectious Grooves. Now that was like a blip in time. There was like 2 albums, and it really got no airplay, but it was groovy. It was groovy and heavy at the same time. And Mike was known for his rapping on that album. So that's a pretty cool fact that the metal community just embraced that single, and it was a B-side on. It was on a B-side album called "Attack of the Killer Bees."
Yes.
So that's what that.
And Anthrax had flirted with rap before on B-sides. There was a B-side on "Among the Living" that had a rap influence. I can't remember what it was now. God, I don't know why.
Johnny. You got to prepare better.
I know. My memory is not what it used to be. I've got to write it all down and have it in front of me to remember. But they were well known for their love of rap, being the New York East Coast band. They were right friends with all the Def Jam guys. And
yeah, that's right. So yeah, that was a big deal for metal and Anthrax, right? If you hadn't heard of Anthrax by that time, you had heard of them, you know, at that time, because that song was all over the place.
Yeah.
You know, even though, you know, grunge had taken over the airwaves and everybody just pushed the metal aside, except for us true metal fans who still had bands like Anthrax and Testament and Pantera, you know, and Ozzy doing their thing during that time. But the radio airwaves were, you know, totally taken over by Soundgarden and Nirvana and Alice in Chains and all the other, you know, bands that they were pumping out of that Seattle scene on the radio, those grunge years. So, but Anthrax kept to their roots, man. They kept putting out good music, even, you know, cool collaborations with Public Enemy.
I believe that Scott Ian played on a UTFO, which was a rap band, a song that collaborated with them. Now, you're going to ask me what was the name of the song and what was the album, and I'm going to say, I don't remember. But I'm pretty sure it was UTFO, because Scott was always into the rap stuff.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The lyrical content he totally loved.
Right. And I you know, we can't forget that in 2010 and 2011, you know, Anthrax went on, did some shows, what they call the Big Four shows.
Oh yeah.
Right? Metallica, Slayer, Megadeth, and Anthrax. The Big Four. They call those the Big Four. Those were the foundation of metal music back in, you know, 83 to 85. Those bands were, you know, really coming hard on the scene. So Metallica decided to take them out on tour, and they did the Symphonic Festival here in the States in 2010 and 2011. Now, at that time, I think that was in LA or in California somewhere. And I didn't have the money to fly to California to go see a concert, let alone pay for the concert tickets and all that stuff. But they've now released a lot of those shows on DVD or video. You can watch them on YouTube now. All four sets from all four bands. So that was a really big highlight in their year, because there was a lot of bands that were around at that time that were kind of left behind, but, you know, in the story of the Big Four, right? There's a lot of speculation as who would be the next Big Four, you know, at that level now, you know what I mean? And a lot of people forget about Pantera, the Pantera years and their influence. So I don't know. Testament's always been there too.
Yeah. Oh,
Testament has always been there.
Exodus.
Yeah. Exodus. Well, they lost.
They were there.
They went through some tragedy too. Yeah. But they went through some tragedy too, you know?
Yeah.
And they kind of had to reform. Now they just released a new album just this past year, or this year. And they're touring. I've seen some social media clips where it's really freaking heavy.
Oh,
it's really good stuff. Yeah. Well, since Slayer's not playing, Gary Holt went back to Exodus, and they wrote a bunch of new good music. And also, you know, Anthrax is still touring. They just played Sonic Temple Festival just a few weeks ago. And of course, I talked about them releasing the new single For the Kid. It's For the Kids. And I saw something yesterday that they are starting their European tour this weekend, and they've got a bunch of dates over in Europe. I thought I had a list here. Maybe I don't. Let me see. Up and coming. All right. So yeah, they're starting off the tour May 26th, 2026 with Iron Maiden, and they do 2 dates. They do Bulgaria and Romania. And then a third date on the 29th. So 26th is Bulgaria, 28th is Romania, 29th is Serbia.
Wow.
Just Anthrax. They do a sideshow in Serbia, and then they go to the Slavic Republic again with Iron Maiden on the 30th. And there's a bunch of dates here. They go to Poland, they go to the Czech Republic, they go to the Netherlands, they go to Germany, they go to Italy. They're all over the place. Austria, Belgium. This tour takes them all the way. They do a bunch. They do Denmark in June, France. I mean, this tour goes all the way through. This European tour goes all the way through July 7th, where they fill in with Iron Maiden for a Portugal tour. And then they come back and start their American tour in August, doing a couple dates in Canada. And then they hit the States hard. They do Louder Than Life Festival. They're doing Charlotte, opening up for Iron Maiden and Megadeth. Wait a minute. Do we get to see them? No, they're not going to be.
They're not on the first show.
They're not on the show that we're going to see, which is September 11th. But they do Louder Than Life and September 17th, and that goes through the 20th. So looks like they're doing 2 sets. I don't know. They mention it twice. That really stinks that they're going on tour with Iron Maiden, but they're not doing the DC date.
Yeah.
Of September 11th, which I have tickets to. So they're on an extensive tour. Yes, you have to pay Iron Maiden money, or you have to pay Louder Than Life money. But with Megadeth being on the lineup with Iron Maiden, Anthrax is a bonus. So if you're in Washington, D.C. area, you're not going to see Anthrax on this tour. You're just going to see Megadeth, which is cool. Maybe Megadeth will get a longer set time. They'll do, an hour instead of 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Which is cool. But, it's Iron Maiden. What are you going to do? Iron Maiden plays for like 3 hours.
Yes, they have a lot of hits to play. I just wanted to mention a couple quick interesting facts about Anthrax. Scott Ian, did you know that he was Meatloaf's, the singer's son-in-law?
I did. He's married to Meatloaf's daughter.
Yes. And that Charlie the drummer, Charlie Benante, is the uncle of Frank Bello, the bass player.
Huh. I did not know that.
Yeah, it's Charlie's sister is Frank's mom. Charlie's older sister. Cool. Yeah.
I got a couple cool facts that I'm just going to bring up about my history with Anthrax. Is that when I heard that I Am the Law song, and this is long before the Sylvester Stallone movie about Judge Dredd, right? And the song I Am the Law is about Judge Dredd, but it was a comic book.
Yeah.
Right? So these guys were writing music about a comic book character, which was, pretty bold, right? But
totally ahead of its time. Little did we know how much comic books would become TV and movie fodder that it is now.
Yes. And, at the time I was living in Springfield, Virginia and working out there, and there was a comic book store out there. and I got a hold of a number one I Am the Law Judge Dredd comic book, and it is now hanging up in my garage, and I've hung on to it for a while. I bought it for $6. The outer wrapper came with like a price tag on it, so $6 for a used comic book in great condition about Judge Dredd, that this song I Am the Law was written about. So it is displayed prominently in my garage, and I'm very proud of that. I think I went a couple years ago just to see what it was worth. I think it was worth like $25.
Ooh.
Which isn't bad for a comic book, but it's a kind of a unique comic book.
Yeah. And now they made 2 movies out of
yes,
Judge
they did.
Dredd. They one that starred Sylvester Stallone, and then another one that starred Carl Urban of The Boys fame.
Yeah, I tried to watch that second one. I thought it was even cornier than the first one.
Really? Okay.
Yeah. But, for a major Hollywood movie about a comic book character, we didn't have the Marvel stuff back then. You know what I mean? They weren't making Iron Man movies in the 80s. You know what I mean?
No.
So none of that stuff, there was the Hulk had its 70s, TV show which was kind of really corny with Lou Ferrigno. But as a kid, I was captivated by the Hulk, and Lou Ferrigno was bigger than life.
Yes, literally.
So I do have that comic book. I also have a drumstick from Charlie that he threw at me at the end of a set there at the Bayou, and I was lucky enough to walk away with it, and it had his signature imprinted on the stick.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
And that is prominently displayed with some other drumsticks that I have in the garage as well. One, I have no clue who it goes to, and the other one was for the drummer of Meat Locker, which is another whole episode, my weekend with Meat Locker. Yeah, we might have to do a show about that Meat Locker.
Yeah,
that Meat Locker weekend, but it won't be the same if Dave's not here and can tell his story, because he had some kind of hilarious stories.
Dave's not here, man.
Dave passed on a few years ago. So, but that weekend was amazing. But anyway, I do have a drumstick with Charlie's name on it that he used during one. I think he used it. It doesn't. Maybe he didn't. Maybe those are just the throwaway ones that he just threw away into the crowd. Because the other two I have look like they were being used, especially the Meat Locker one. But Charlie's stick is in almost perfect shape. So there we go.
Charlie's one of my favorite metal drummers, up there with Nick Menza, Chris Adler. And we'd be remiss if we didn't talk about offshoots of Anthrax. There was damn it. I can't remember the name of the band. Nuclear Assault.
Oh yeah, Nuclear Assault.
Featured original bass player from Anthrax, Dan Lilker, and John Connolly, who was the original singer of Anthrax, on guitar and vocals.
Right.
And they were a huge part of the East Coast thrash scene. And then everybody remembers Stormtroopers of Death, which was a side project with Dan Lilker, Scott Ian, Charlie Benante, and Billy Milano.
Yes, Billy Milano. That SOD album is definitely an iconic metal album. It really, really, and it's really still funny. Is brutal. It's still funny. It is still funny. And they were kind of a joke band. They put this thing together, and all of a sudden everybody started buying it.
Yeah,
it's still available. Stormtroopers of Death, SOD. And Billy Milano's still alive too. He's still out there doing his thing.
Yes.
And I think they actually did an anniversary tour for SOD.
Yeah.
Like in New York somewhere.
I think they released a DVD of it too.
Yes. Yes, we can't forget about SOD, which was, members of Anthrax, and how iconic that particular one-off album was. Yeah, I remember cruising around in the taco with the cassette, just playing that sucker as loud as it'd go.
Good old days.
Good old days. All right, well, that's our Anthrax show. Thanks for listening. Sorry our brains don't remember every detail.
Oh, wait. We can't have a discussion about Anthrax without bringing up Megaforce Records. They were one of Megaforce's first signees, and the guys in Anthrax welcomed Metallica when they came out to record their debut album, and went through their trauma of kicking Dave Mustaine out and getting Kirk from Exodus.
Yes, they were right there at the ground floor with all that stuff. Megaforce Records.
Yes. Johnny Z,
who is no longer with us, right?
No, both him and his wife have sadly parted.
They were right there at the beginning of New York hardcore metal. And Anthrax was just one of their many talents they had on that label.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's our Anthrax episode 15 of the Suffering Meatball Chronicles. And we hope you enjoyed listening to our Anthrax memories that we could recall.
We wish we could remember more.
Wish we could remember more. Thanks, everybody.